Season 2 of the Pat and JT podcast.
Oh man, I'm here at last. The first time, always gonna be the best. Come on!
Exclusively on the Hurrdat Media Network.
All right.
Texting to 402-403-9478. And you can email us, hey@patandjt.com if you want, or on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, it's Pat and JT.
So after the last couple of days, I mean, we've had a lot of fun the last couple of days, last couple of episodes, having Danny on, the TikToker, and we'll be having her back again, getting to talk about some more Hollywood stuff and true crime things, and then having Dana Camp is always a blast, and just straight up, just diving into one story. The stuff that she can work on and dive into is endless. And it was kind of like looking at the relationship as we did between, Albert Einstein and Tesla. Just some fun stuff like that. And then of all things this week, we have the story. I don't know if it's come to fruition yet, but I don't think it's been decided as of yet.
It hasn't yet. And who knows with the courts, it could be 8 weeks before they make a decision.
Britney Spears back in the news. And watching the clips of her yesterday, she was in court because of her conservatorship.
Convertitorship.
What? Converted what? Conservatorship that her dad still has. How many years did they say he's had this now? 13?
It's been
13 or 18?
I think it's been like 18 years. I don't know. I'll
13?
Google that. We don't have our fact checker here today.
I go, right. So I was just kind of looking back through, and just for the sake of backstory, talking about Britney, because between us we were like, how old is she now? And I was like, man, she looked rough in a couple of those pictures. She's been through a lot, and she'll be 40 this year. And so and as you know, she was born in Mississippi. She was talented as a young child. They took her in to do the revamp of Mickey Mouse Club. She got turned down the first time.
13 years. You were right.
13? Okay.
13. But it's a long time.
It's a long time. And then went back and did it again. Oops, she did it again. Never mind. Foreshadowing. And then she did in December of 92 was when she got into, no, it can't be in December of 92. She was born in 91. Stop that.
She's the most talented most talented
92.
tot in the country.
I was like, 82, 92. Wait a minute. What year? Okay. But in 92 is when she got into the Mickey Mouse Club, which was that second revamp that they did with Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, and Kerry Russell. What a class.
Isn't that crazy, right?
Wow. And then the show was canceled in 96, and she did a few other little things here and there, but her, they kept taking her around, and they had songs of her, like she was singing Whitney Houston songs, she was singing Toni Braxton songs, she was doing covers of things, trying to get noticed, and then also they said that what was kind of weird is the labels rejected her, saying that the audiences wanted the bands, like the boy bands and the girl bands. They don't need another Madonna or Debbie Gibson or Tiffany.
That's funny.
That's what they said at the time.
By the way, that's hilarious.
I'm sure Madonna loves being in the same
now she does.
breath as Debbie Gibson and Tiffany. But anyway, the sad part is that when she had her breakdown, which would have been about, how old was she when that happened?
Oh, conservatorship's been going for 13 years, so it must be like 14, 15 years ago.
25, 26?
Probably, yeah.
When that happened. The sad part is, and people have talked about that. Not everybody grabs an umbrella and beats a vehicle and shaves their head, but they do other things like run away or get defiant in one way or another and do some things, and nobody pulls a conservatorship on them. She may have needed some help, but I don't know that was when it happened at the time. I remember everybody's like, "What?"
Well, and I remember it was because she had a guy that was really close to her Lutfi or whatever.
Yes.
And the fear was that he was trying to worm his way in and take her money. And at the time, she had tens of millions of dollars. So I understand initially for medical issues and to protect her money that she's built up. You need somebody in there at the time to get her on the right track, and that doesn't usually take I wouldn't think, it doesn't take 13 years.
It shouldn't. 2006 is when February 2006 is when pictures showed up when she had her boy, Sean, on her lap and she was driving. Yeah. That was in 2006. And then there were some other things with the encounters with the paparazzi. There were some other, weird things that happened in that time. Some people were comparing her to, remember she did the picture for Harper's Bazaar that was reminiscent of Demi Moore.
Yes.
Right? and her picture wherever it was. I think there's mention in here Vanity Fair. But anyway, she had her second son in 2006, Jaden James.
And she was treated awful. Everybody who saw that that documentary that was it New York Times put out. Anybody who saw that, looking back on it, we all went through that time. Like we saw it in the news. We watched as spectators and couldn't wait for the next day to see the news story about crazy Britney.
She didn't have her pants on.
But right,
they let her go out of the house wearing a shirt with no pants.
She was treated, and by the press was treated terrible. Some of the interview clips where these guys openly talked about her boobs in front. I mean, it's like she was just, no wonder she had a breakdown.
I honestly.
And especially if there was any propensity at all ahead of time before that for any sort of mental illness at all, it's just a trigger. It's just, it's obvious.
It was too much. And on top of all that, she was recording at that time. She released an album in October of 2007. So she had a baby, had some issues, was recording, put an album out. The album ended up selling over 3 million copies. Album of the Year at the MTV Europe Music Awards. 5th Best Pop Album of the Decade by the Times. She performed on the 2007 MTV Video Music Awards. She was doing all of this stuff while she was trying to keep it together.
Who can keep it together? With only half that stuff going on, it's stressful.
So 2008 was when the conservatorship went in effect. And that was when she had refused to give up custody of her sons to K-Fed's representatives, and she was hospitalized then. Police showed up at her house and decided she appeared to be under the influence of something. And so her rights were suspended. He was given sole custody. And that was another one, another knock, right? She lost her kids. And then she was committed. And then from then on, and she's been doing the Las Vegas residency and killing it.
And of that, I heard yesterday that she made 60 or 70 million during that run.
Good for her.
And she got $2,000 a week. Yeah. That was in her.
That was what they gave her.
2,000, which I mean, okay, on paper it's
246. Okay, so for $8,000 a month is what she was taking
for
home.
something that she was making, and the money her dad had complete control, and still does have complete control of all of it. And not only that, what blew me away yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot of the details of this, but with the court case and all the stories around it, that she has court-imposed contraception.
She has an IUD in her.
And she can't take it out. She can't take it out. She wants to get married to her boyfriend and have a baby.
Yeah.
And she can't because of her dad and the conservatorship cannot take it out. That is absolute BS.
It's crazy.
Disgusting.
The way she put it was what she had. I have an IUD in my body, and they won't let me make a doctor's appointment to have it removed.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm
it's
like,
disgusting.
What?
It's disgusting.
She's going to be 40 this year.
Unbelievable. So I hope with all the publicity, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we don't know about what's going on the medical side.
Something that I learned yesterday that I did not know is apparently in that conservatorship there is an allowance for her lawyers to request it be stopped or whatever
dissolved.
You want to say. They've never done it. They've never put that request in.
Probably because they're making a lot of money.
And I'm wondering about that. Because what I'm seeing is like in my mind's eye here watching the stars, as we all have been doing, it's like a whole nother Michael Jackson thing. You know what I mean?
Because all that money goes away.
All the yes people around him, or not yes people, they just want to keep let's keep the gravy train gravying. And so we don't want to rock the boat. We don't want them to do anything that's going to interrupt the flow. So we got to make sure we keep things as they are, good or bad for the person.
Right.
And even go back to Nicole.
Richie?
No.
Kidman.
Smith. What's her name?
Anna Nicole Smith?
Anna Nicole Smith. God, I couldn't think the first one. Like, damn, what was her first one? Thank you for all the help. Because
all the other
Nicoles.
I mean, I don't know, Nicole Scherzinger? I don't know any other Nicoles.
Then I lost it completely. I was like, okay, wait, Nicole Richie. I hadn't thought of her a while.
I went to school with a Nicole a long time ago. I said, I know. That's all the Nicoles I know.
Anna Nicole. She was another one, too. That they let things go as they were because she made so much money for being how she was.
Well, and Britney was, according to stories that I've read in the media, is that she was forced to tour. Her last tour where she was forced to tour. And if it's really truly about the health of your child and the health of her personally, you don't do that. You don't put the workhorse out there to bring money in, because why would she need it?
She shouldn't need it.
She shouldn't need it at all. She should need it. She had enough money to live the rest of her life, and the kids had enough money to live the rest of their life. And that the only thing is just a cash grab.
Oh, it's
That's all I can think of. So I don't know. Hopefully they make the right decision. If that is the right decision, if there's medical stuff that we don't know, which there obviously I'm sure is, but
That's
at some point,
out.
I don't know if it was in the documentary or if it was something I saw like on 2020 or something. Dan Abrams had said something, and I've always liked Dan Abrams. He said something. I think he's legal analyst for
he's
ABC.
live PD, by the way. He's live PD guy, and then also, what was the department? He was head of something over there. Oh God, the kind of surprise was like, whoa, I didn't know that.
Smart. Seems like a really smart, level-headed dude.
And Mediaite. There's a media company. Some have tried to accuse him of being far right. Some people have accused him of being far left. He's all over the map.
And that's a good sign.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because he has. I was surprised. I think it was Mediaite or whatever they call that agency or that organization. But anyway, and then there's some things that were definitely he was. He doesn't lean.
Right.
He's just doing what he thinks is correct.
And
so
right.
you may see it as being a right or left move. It's just in his mind, it's just common sense, a correct
according
move.
to the law. And
Right.
what he said about conservatorships in general is that once they're put in place, it's very hard to get them removed because usually the person that's being protected isn't of sound mental state enough to fight for their own freedom. And he said that's what's scary about this, and that's what with the public outcry and the fact that she has some people around her, like her boyfriend, is stepping out and giving some
Who's she with
evidence.
now?
I don't even know, but he must be a decent guy, trying to help her. But that's what's so hard with any mental illness. Like it's perceived you can't fight for yourself in any situation because, well, you're not of sound mind. Well, so I can understand why it'd be really difficult to get a conservatorship removed because how do you know you're good to go?
Well, it's it kind of reminds me of is you've probably seen the movies where this has happened. Shutter Island is kind of one of those where somebody goes into an insane asylum, not realizing, and then what's the first thing you say? I'm not insane.
Mm-hmm. Everybody says that.
Everybody says that.
What do you say when you go to jail? I'm not guilty. I didn't do it.
What was the movie I saw that the girl went undercover she wanted to do the reporting. It was like a period piece. Do the reporting on an asylum to shine a light on the abuse that was going on. Mm-hmm. So she ends up in the asylum and then she loses her contact out.
So she's stuck.
She was stuck. And yeah, it was.
That's pretty interesting.
Like terrifying,
yeah,
right?
Scary.
So then, in this situation, of course, the first thing she's going to say is, "I'm fine. I'm fine." What are you talking about? They said that shortly before she went to speak to the court, the New York Times got a hold of a court document that stated that she had pushed for years to end the conservatorship. She spoke in court, calling it abusive. Here's a quote from her: "I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy. If I said that enough, maybe I'd become happy. I'm in shock. I'm traumatized. I'm so angry, it's insane. I'm scared of people. I don't trust people with what I've been through. It's not okay to force me to do anything I don't want to do. I truly believe this conservatorship is abusive. I don't feel I can live a full life." So when she said at the beginning, "I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay."
That's powerful.
Because she's not.
Right.
Right. But then right there is where people are going to pick up on that and say, well, if you're not okay, then you should be under a conservatorship.
Yeah, but I 100% agree. But it's like, who would be okay in a situation where you are okay, but you have no control of your life?
She was okay, and they put her in, and you're right. It should have just taken a short amount of time to turn it around, help her get back together, and put her back on her own again. So now she's been traumatized by being in this abusive relationship for so long that now that is the cause of her trauma. Mm-hmm. And she needs to get out from under.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious. And they had her on, what'd they say? Lithium?
They switched her from whatever she was on to lithium, and without her consent, she couldn't say no.
That's
scary. Very scary. So no wonder over the last year, these crazy videos have been popping up on Instagram where she looks like she's whacked out of her mind. It's because she is.
She is.
100%.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Instagram, she puts posts up every once in a while. And they're just posts of her like walking across a room.
Yeah.
Or doing a dance.
And according to the court document, she never had her phone. So posting those videos, right? So I'm thinking it was probably her boyfriend that did it. But I mean, I would think because who else would have access to that? Her boyfriend, her staff. But then if they're like trying to get the public to understand something's going on, you'd think that would have been squashed.
I would think possibly that they were using it it could have been used, it could have been people that were not on her team that were using it so they could keep her in the public, but with stuff
Probably.
that they wanted to put out there.
And it backfired.
It backfired.
Uh-huh. So this is interesting. I can't wait.
Wow.
Who knows how long this is going to take? But hopefully, I don't know how they can't not do it.
They've got to.
If
Too many people see it now.
Too many people see it. If anything, if she still medically needs to be under a conservatorship, her dad shouldn't be the one doing it. He seems like the biggest dirtbag.
And I think they did mention some other names. There were some other names that were involved in the different aspects of her life. I didn't recognize the names. A lot of people speaking out on social media yesterday. The list is pretty extensive, but some of them in particular are very weighty. Justin Timberlake, Kathy Griffin, Khloe Kardashian, Rose McGowan, had Brandy, Halsey, Mariah Carey. They all spoke out yesterday in regards to what she was going through in court, which is interesting. So obviously it's got a lot of people's attention. Or a lot of people's attentions, whatever. Yeah. It's got the attention of a lot of people.
A lot of people. Everybody's paying attention.
They are. Now they are. And I hope, regardless, you just want to see her. I mean, you want to see her be well.
Yeah.
I mean, and this just blows my mind that she can do the work that she does and has been doing while she's under this kind of duress.
Yeah, I know. It's scary. And if you haven't heard the leaked audio from this, it's the links in the description of this episode. I know it was a couple days ago, but in case you haven't heard it, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it is. It's something else. And something else that happened yesterday also too. Have you ever followed the life and times of John McAfee or McAfee? He's the one that developed the computer virus programs, right? And he died yesterday. They said he killed himself. And, conspiracy theory time. Okay, so here it goes.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
I know, right?
So he killed himself yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, when you said that, I thought he had killed himself when you sent me that video. It was like a while ago.
The video that I sent that Pat's referring to is...
Retalking about?
Retalking. Talking about. I tried to make it retalking.
Just make all... just.
Was a video that he had done about a year ago, actually. He had done this video... And he was...
I'll link to that too.
Yeah, he was basically telling people that... And this was when, some of the stories were starting to come out. And it's not just politics. It's Hollywood. It's all different levels of industry. That there are people who are actually running things. There are people that are more in charge than others. As we know, all the companies in the world are owned by about 7 companies, big companies. And that graph in and of itself blows my mind every time I look at it, because it's like 7 major corporations that own everything from A&W root beer to, it's
crazy.
It's just crazy the number of brands that are under just those 7 entities. So that's 7 powerful companies.
Yes, it is way too powerful.
Right?
Almost.
That are run by 7 powerful people, or boards of directors, or just CEOs, or whatever you want to call it. So I see where he's going with this, and it's only like 2 minutes long, really, the video. And that's what he was talking about. So he put that video out, and then a week after he put that video out, he was arrested. And, he wasn't in this country at the time because there were tax evasion charges that were against him, and he had taken off. He was in Belize for some time. He was in South America. He was traveling the world. He got arrested in Spain 1 week after putting that video out and got thrown in jail. He's been in jail ever since.
And so he killed himself in jail.
Yes.
Huh.
And so, and on top of it, just this week, he'd been cleared for extradition to the United States to come back for the tax evasion charges, supposedly. And so his wife had even posted something about this, just this week, had posted a Happy Father's Day thing to him. And I don't know that he has kids. I looked it up and I couldn't find anything right off the bat, but I think it was just in general terms, just because she was missing him and she had just posted something for him just this week.
That's weird.
And he also had posted late fall last year. He posted let me see if I've got it here. Another thing too. A lot of people think he was the one that was behind the drone shots of Epstein's Island.
Oh, really?
Apparently his name has been connected with that because he had the capability of getting that. and that he was behind getting those drone, because they had the drone shot. If you've seen that, it's crazy. If you saw it, it's like he gets right up next to that temple.
Did you see that YouTuber that got on the island?
No.
Twice. I'll find it for you. This guy, this
Please
YouTuber,
do.
just a vlogger. He swam. He took some sort of boat or swam to the island, and there's pictures. He's got video of him walking up to that temple, getting inside places. He got off the island. A couple days later, went back, got more shots of all this stuff, and got off.
What?
Yeah, and the security team is everywhere. It's pretty. This was probably 2-3 months ago.
That's interesting. I'm surprised more people haven't tried that. I know they probably have security on there to avoid vandalism.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. There's other things going on here. But he had just tweeted last fall something along the lines of, I'm doing fine. The food here is okay. Just know if, how do you put it? What was the word? What was the phrase? Did I send it to you? It's something like an Epstein-like or Epstein-ish.
Basically, if I die, I didn't kill myself.
Basically that.
Wow.
He just posted that
and
last
then
fall.
He kills himself this week.
He killed himself this week after being, and he wasn't afraid about coming back for the tax evasion charges. It was almost a game to him to stay away from it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, he's got his money. He just took off and, see you later. You're not going to get me. And around the world I go. And it wasn't like life or death for him. It probably would have been a heavy penalty had he come back.
But he's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or had a lot of money.
And in his mind too, he thought that was something else. Right after he died, within like an hour or two, there was a post on his Instagram.
Like of what?
Of the letter Q.
What? No way. No.
And they're not saying it's Q. They're saying it's question. Question. That's what he meant to say. Not QAnon. That he was putting Q. And of course some people immediately
he killed
are
himself
like,
right
he was Q. And I'm like, oh my God, no.
How does he
stop.
he had his phone in jail? Like he could post on Instagram from jail?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows who posted it for him.
I just want to make sure it is abundantly clear. Pat is the boy, JT is the girl. If any of this comes back, I don't know. I was watching Bravo last night. So I've been doing no research on any of this crap. I'm just saying, Pat is the boy, JT is the girl. The female speaking now about all this Q stuff. Question
this
Q.
This is not Q stuff.
It said Q.
It was just a letter Q was what he posted. It was creepy. And so it got reposted too. But it was after he died that it posted. And he didn't have his phone. So it wasn't like he was posting. Somebody posted for him, obviously, because somebody posted for him last fall. Why doesn't somebody just
say question the death? Like why be cryptic? It's like our brain with our dreams.
I know.
Why make me wrestle a gorilla if you're trying to tell me I need to lose weight? Right. Just say, sit down with dream person and say, dude, lose weight.
Lose weight.
Why put a Q there? Why not just put question the death of I'm dead? Question the death.
You know what some people are saying about that is that it was kind of like a dead man switch. That he believed he would not be offed by, and he talked in these terms, that he was safe, his life was safe because they needed to keep him alive because of information that he knew, and knowing that if he died, other information would get out.
Hopefully it does.
So as long as he stayed alive...
Again, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Yeah.
As long as he stayed alive, it was like his guarantee. So some are saying that Q wasn't anything other than what they're calling a dead man switch, I think is what you call it. And basically it was like flipping the switch saying, okay, fine, he's out. Go ahead. It's time.
Well, I don't
know what that means.
I've been hearing from a lot of people in your camp, like, now
what
it's
camp?
time. It's your camp.
No, not that.
The mystery camp. I'm not Q camp.
Oh, you mean finding out
finding out like
the answers?
Yes, just from and not just you, but people on
my camp,
your camp, on your
Who's
side
in
of the
my
mountain.
Camp? I don't even know. I'm
know.
usually
Nobody
sitting
knows.
by myself roasting
You all
marshmallows.
have cat as avatars, so I don't know who's all in your camp. But like everybody's like, okay, coming up, whatever the 4th of this month, it's all big data dump, and then that comes like. I meant the 14th. It's coming up on the 14th. I have August.
I have never subscribed to that.
Okay.
Never. I want to know. I want answers.
I want answers.
I want to see what's on Hunter's laptop. Or maybe
so
I don't.
I. Oh, I do. I don't care what it is. I want to see what's on.
I've seen some pictures. And that makes me want to see. I want to see, but it's for some reason not interesting to anybody reporting on
I can't imagine it's not.
I can't either.
But the fact that Donald Trump's pants were apparently on backwards 2 weeks ago was national.
That was huge. And nobody's really talking about Hunter's blow art either. His use of
his blow. I don't even know.
You want to know?
His blow art.
He's been selling it.
I heard that yesterday.
Found a new use for a straw, didn't he?
You can actually blow through those and not just suck up them? Wow. Blow art.
Hurrdat Media Production.